Welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to be fixing what I broke in the last episode. So I got the truck pulled into the shop here. She's got some snow on her. We have been very busy with snow plowing, so that's why we haven't been uploading it all. But finally found a brake. Now we're going to go ahead, get this Panhard bar cut out and weld it back in the right spot. And I'm going to go ahead and brace that frame as well. I noticed the other day when we were leaving church, my steering felt a little sloppy, and I had Shelby turn the wheel for me, and I was watching it, and that Panhard bar bracket actually moves, and it's because the frame on these trucks are totally spaghetti. So all I got to do is I'm going to weld in some braces there. Alright, so what I ended up doing is I pulled my Panhard bar off, I loosened the nuts on it, and I shortened it back to where it was so I don't have my heim joints sticking out too far so they're weaker. So now, before this thread was out way far, so I screwed it back in so I have more thread grabbing on my Panhard bar so I'm not risking it snapping or anything. Now what I'm going to do is cut off that Panhard bar mount there. I'm going to clean the Panhard bar mount up. I'm going to clean up the frame, and then I'm going to weld it back in. Okay, so I got that old Panhard bar mount cut out. Now I got to clean the frame up underneath there, and I got to clean the Panhard bar mount out, and I'm going to cut part of my coil bucket out right there where I already started cutting at it, just so I can weld the back side of it to get a weld all the way around.
Got the kick.
Alright, so I got that little chunk cut out, and then I got my frame rail cleaned up. Now what I'm going to do is put my tire back on, go in the cab, turn my steering wheel till it's straight, check it out here, make sure my axle is centered, and then I'll go ahead and throw that Panhard mount onto my Panhard bar and see where it lines up. Alright, I got the tire put back on, steering wheel is straight. I'm going to go ahead and put my Panhard bar mount back in. I'm going to hook it up, put it up onto the frame, and then I'm going to tack it. So I went ahead and I put the Panhard bar back in, and I got my Panhard mount tacked in. I ended up dropping it down. Originally we were in the middle hole. I went down to the bottom hole just to get my Panhard bar and my drag link more parallel. Allegedly, the more parallel they are, the less bump steer you have. I didn't really have a whole lot of bump steer, but I had a little bit, so I'm going to lower it and see if that helps with that little bit of bump steer I do have. It'll also allow me to push my mount further over on the frame so I can get more welding surface. So now that it's tacked in, it looks good. All my angles are fine. It looks like it's pretty squared up to the axle. Drag link looks like it's in a good spot. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my, my Panhard bar looks like it's in a good spot. I'm going to go ahead, pull my Panhard bar off, and I'm going to burn it in. so I got my Panhard mount all welded in. Not the best welds, but they're definitely gonna hold. Now I'm gonna cut a piece of tubing that is gonna span from my Panhard mount all the way over to my engine cross member, just to help give some strength there. Because before, this mount was moving in and out, and it was actually the frame flexing. So if I brace it off to the engine cross member, it should help stiffen it up a little bit. This is a piece of channel. I chose channel because channel and angle iron are really rigid because they have the 90s in them. I just had this piece of scrap channel laying around, and it's small enough and thick enough, it should do the job fine. I measured from my engine cross member on the truck, measured from my engine cross member back there to the bolt on my Panhard bar, and I got 10 3/4 to the center. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark 10 3/4, drill a hole in the center of this, cut it, and then it should be able to slide in there. I'll weld one side to the engine cross member, and the other side is gonna be bolted to the Panhard bar using the existing bolt. Putting a piece of channel from the Panhard bar up to the engine cross member. It's bolted to the Panhard bar using the same bolt, and I'm going to weld it to the engine cross member. That should help mitigate some of the play in the Panhard bar. I will put a before and after video of what it looks like before and after adding this piece of channel. Alright guys, so that is all for this video. Now, as you can tell from those before and after clips, that Panhard bar brace made a world of a difference. That mount won't move at all anymore. You can feel it in the steering wheel. It's noticeably tighter, more responsive, so that's awesome. I don't have to worry about putting all that stress on my frame and it tearing out again like I did last time. Now originally, like I mentioned earlier, I was gonna do a web stiffener type, which is really just boxing off the frame. You can either put a plate on the front side of the C, or you can put a plate inside the C to fill in the section. And basically you're connecting the top and bottom C's to each other, and then you won't have any flex on the bottom side of that frame rail. But there's so much nonsense in there between engine mounts and all the bracing for the twin traction beam, and just a bunch of, it's busy up there. So I didn't have any room to get into the frame rail and put that in there, but this worked perfectly fine. So thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.